to me. All right, guys. So happy Friday. Thing number 2. All right. Today is the day because it is Friday with Friends. And I am so excited to have a new friend here with us today that many of you have come to know over the last several months. And I told you the other day, I said it starts with a D, and we talked about how her name could be spelled 3 different ways. Although I'm sure it's spelled many different ways besides that. But the D's that we know, if you're a Debbie, you're right. We do have a Debbie in the house with us. And I couldn't be more happy to have my friend Debbie Smith on. Hello, Debbie.
Hi, guys. How are y'all?
Oh, my goodness. I'm going to put my little earbuds in here. Earbuds, whatever, earbuds. Here we go. And Debbie is joining us from Roswell, New Mexico. Right, Debbie?
That's where we live. Yes,
That's where you live. Are you nervous?
You're not a bunch of 6th graders, so we're good.
There you go. Debbie used to teach the 6th grade, so she's got this, right? If you can handle 6th graders, you can handle just about anything.
I would take 6th graders over kindergartners any day.
Would you really?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I would say there's a special place in heaven waiting for you, my friend, to do that.
Well,
Right.
we all have a grade that we do well in.
Yeah, for sure. Uh-oh, did my volume go down? Or can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, I can. Yeah. So I can well, we'll see what happens. Okay, so Roswell, New Mexico. Does anyone ever tease you about Roswell?
Just a little bit. No, I'm not an alien.
Yeah, no aliens.
I was born in Ohio.
Uh-huh.
So uh, there's a group that thinks that perhaps we had aliens land here in 1948, I believe. My best friend's father was the information officer at the air base at the time. I never heard about it growing up, and it's just come about in the last 25 or 30 years. So
Uh-huh.
I don't know, but
You don't know.
my son does not say he's from Roswell. He doesn't want anybody associating him with aliens.
Oh. Well, you're not green, right? You don't
No,
have
not
anything
green.
coming out of your head or anything.
No.
So we're good. So tell us a little bit about your family. I'm going to bring a picture up here on the screen.
Okay. Well, I'm married to a really good guy who's a golfer, and now that he's retired, we have 2 grown kids, and they're wonderful, and we have 2 great kids-in-law and 5 grandkids.
How cute. What a great looking family.
Thank you.
Yes, just such a beautiful family. I love that. Are you able to turn up your volume, Debbie? Some are having
I
trouble hearing you.
no, no, but I can maybe hold the microphone closer. Does
Oh,
that help?
yeah, actually, I think that might. Yeah, so that's
Okay.
awesome. Okay, so Debbie, beautiful family. This picture was taken back in November, right?
Right. This
You
is
were
at my
saying?
daughter's wedding in the Panhandle of Oklahoma, and it was a outdoor wedding. And on the right is my son and my daughter-in-law and their 4 kids, and in the middle is Carrie and J Dub and their daughter Ashton, and then Ron and I are on the left.
That's awesome. Well, how fun. How fun. And do you love just making things for your grandkids now?
I do.
Yeah.
It's lots of fun.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So, Debbie, we sometimes like to tease Debbie here on 3 at 3. What, what do
I
we?
can't imagine
I
about
can I
what.
know. What do we tease you about, Debbie?
That I'm slightly OCD.
Just a titch, just a titch. No.
I saw 2 of my good friends are watching it, and they probably would say yes.
Yeah. And we kind of tease about that, but it's all in good fun, right?
Yes, it is, and they have teased about it for years, so
And
not a problem.
and Debbie, what was it? Tell everyone what that was based on for 3
So,
at 3. It was when what
oh,
project
the
were we doing?
drum quilt.
Yeah, that just
No.
You were like,
Mm-mm.
no, Kris, no, No.
Not gonna happen. Nope.
I was trying to get everyone all excited about the crumb quilt. And every time Debbie was like, I can't do it, Kris. I just
Mm-mm.
can't do it. And that's
No,
okay. There's nothing wrong with that,
that's right.
right?
And I admire the people that could do it.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. But you like things a little bit more, structured.
Very.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I love it. So when we tease you, it's always in good fun.
Uh, well, I said I can see that my friends are on, and yes,
Yeah.
they give me a hard time about it too because they're not particularly structured
Yeah,
like
there
I
you
am.
go. There you go. That's great. I love it. So, hey, let's talk about some quilts. And the first thing I want to talk about is I think the quilt behind you is so cute. And I know there's a little story behind it. So, could you share that with us?
Well, yes, this is my granddaughter's, and I made it for her when she was probably 3, 4, maybe 5, and she's now 12, and so it's been a while. And it comes from this. Can you see the book?
Yes.
Okay, it comes from this book, No Dragon on My Quilt, which is a fun story about a little boy who spends the night with his grandmother and he can't go to sleep for various reasons. He needs to brush his teeth, he forgot he needs to eat a cookie, he left his toys outside. And so she makes him this quilt, and he's afraid that there are dragons. And so she assures him that in one night she makes appliques, quilts, puts this together, and gives it to him with no dragons on his quilt, and he finally can go to sleep. So the patterns come in the book.
I think that is the cutest idea. I love this.
So I don't know. So they've got the patterns in the back of the book, sewing instructions, and you can pick and choose. I made hers a little smaller
Mm-hmm.
because she was a little tiny, so I didn't use. I think there's 16 appliques, and I think I used 12.
Uh huh. Have
And
have
those
any of
are
you
she
heard have any of you heard this story before? Let's show it again. No dragons on my quilt. I just think that's the sweetest thing. And so, did you say it was mom who made it for him or grandma who made it for him?
It was Grandma who made him. He was spending the night at Grandma's and
Okay.
had a hard time settling in, and so then, miraculously, in one night, she
Yeah,
made this beautiful quilt.
amazing.
Poof, and then he could go to sleep because there were no dragons. There's lots of pictures of things that he needed to do that night, but there are
Uh-huh.
no dragons on his quilt.
I just think that is the sweetest. And I mean, come on. Now grandmas really are magical. I'm just saying.
Well, we try.
Yeah, you grandmas, you can whip things out like that. No problem, right?
Yeah, all, all in one night.
All in
Piece of
one
cake.
night.
Sure.
But I think that is so cute. And so
Thank you.
Janet asked, does a story go with each block?
Yes. Each
Okay.
block has something to do with things that he could not, reasons, excuses why he could not go to bed. He forgot to brush his teeth. They took a flashlight out to go see if there were dragons in the backyard or under the bed. And he needed another cookie and he wanted some hot chocolate. And his toys weren't, he wasn't sure they were in the garage and he needed another
Mm-hmm.
story. So everything on the quilt represents a part of the story.
I think that's adorable. I love it. I love it. And so when Debbie was telling me about this book, I said, there's going to be a lot of people who would love to have that book, and it actually is one that is technically out of print. It's from 20 no from 1990, but there is a way to get it. And so in fact, I looked on Amazon. It was $92 for the
I
book.
did not pay that for
No,
it.
no, because it was out of print. But Debbie has an address for you. So if this is a book that you want, it is actually what it says is that you can get it from in Kentucky from Paducah. Is that
Mhm.
correct?
It says the American Quilter Society, and their address is Post Office Box 3290, Paducah, Kentucky 42002.
Okay, so you know what? I'm going to type that in the comments. Can you tell me again?
Sure.
American
Okay. American
Quilters.
Quilter Society,
Okay,
Post Office Box 3290,
3290.
mm-hmm,
Okay,
Paducah, Kentucky
okay.
42002.
Okay, so I just put it in there. Yeah, that I was The Amazon, you don't want to do that because that's way too much. But you might be able to have better luck by writing to the American Quilter Society, even if they still have it. If not, you actually can get some used books, gently used books, off of Amazon and be a lot cheaper. But I think that is the cutest idea, right?
But yeah, and I gave them. I did one. She has a cousin who's 8 days younger than she is. He's 12 also, and so I gave them each one that year and gave them each their own book to go along with the quilt.
I love that. Oh my gosh, that is so cute. So you also you really are a fan of a lot of children's books, and so you have some
I,
other ones to share with us tonight today
I
too.
do. I have to put my microphone down. I hope you can hear.
Okay.
This is the Quilt Maker's Gift, which is a beautiful book. It's a great story about a quilt maker who lives high on a hill and makes quilts and only gives them to people that are homeless. And she goes down at night and covers them up with one of her quilts. And a king wants her to make him a quilt. She won't until he gives away all his worldly possessions. And so it's a great story for kids to hear. And the illustrations are beautiful. And you can get there is a pattern book for all the patterns in this book, and then there's actually a prequel called The Quilt Maker's Journey.
I love those books too. And those are ones you're going to have to find online as well, as those are no longer just available um,
I got
in
these
this
on
way.
Amazon, so
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Several of you own that book as well. Can you show both books again so that everyone can see? This is the Quilt Maker's Gift and the Quilt Maker's Journey. And I believe there's patterns for those books in there as well, or for those quilts, I should say.
not in these books, but I looked on Amazon yesterday, and you just put in quilts from the Quilt Maker's Gift, and you
Mm-hmm.
can get the pattern book. And it was
Ah,
there yesterday.
okay, okay. Good to know. And then can you also hold up the first one that we talked about, the dragon? Someone wanted to again see that. No dragons on my quilt. So hurry and write that down, guys, if that's something you're looking for. I think that is so sweet. I love that. Very, very sweet. And then speaking of books, you also wanted to talk about another one that got you thinking this last week.
Well, watching the girls yesterday, after all the silliness went away,
That's right.
which I thoroughly enjoyed.
Yes.
They were talking about solid colored quilts, and there was another book which is called Lucas Quilt. I collected a lot of quilt books. It's amazing how many there were when I was teaching. And in Hawaiian quilts are just two colors. And
Mm-hmm.
when I was teaching school, we would cut the what is white in this pattern. We would cut it out as a snowflake, and so we would
Mm.
make a class quilt out of paper, and they would cut a snowflake shape, and then would glue it on whatever colored paper they wanted to do. But it's just a fun book, considering what they were talking about yesterday. It just made me go look for this book because I thought about it.
Yeah, with the solids. So that one's
Mhm.
called Luca's Quilt.
And I got this on Amazon also.
Oh, how fun. I love that. I'll tell you, Hawaiian quilts are gorgeous.
I can't imagine,
Yeah.
but they are.
I've
I
never
like
owned
applique.
one. Well, yeah, the applique is unbelievable, right?
Right.
Oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. But you're right. I do love the idea of those, solid prints being used in the Hawaiian quilts just like that.
Right.
I love
I think
that.
it's interesting. But the little girl, the story goes, was not happy because she wanted a very bright and colorful quilt, and Grandma made her a traditional Hawaiian quilt, and so they didn't speak for a while, which is part of the story. And it's kind of
Oh,
an interesting story.
interesting. It makes you wonder if it was uh, one of those that is based on a true story, maybe.
I don't know, and I was trying to find the picture. Grandma made a lei of flowers and put it on the other side, and so then her she could have her traditional Hawaiian quilt, or if you see,
Oh,
or the
look.
grandmother made a lei to go on the quilt so that it was not so just two colors anymore. So the little girl was happy.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I love that. That is cool. Those are three really or four really great books, and especially
They
if
are.
you're
They're good.
wanting to kind of tie in your children in with the quilts and really our children might not understand the depth of meaning behind that book, but we as adults sure do, don't we?
Well, and I think my kids now that grandkids now that they're older talk about it, so I think it made an impact even if they didn't realize it at the time. But
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think that quilt behind you is so sweet and that you made it for two of your granddaughters. I think that's really sweet.
well, I made this one for my granddaughter. I made another one that was reds and blues and greens for my grandson.
Oh,
So,
grandson.
but
Awesome.
I have this one because it needs to be hand tacked, and I don't like hand sewing, so it's still here. I haven't finished it.
That's okay. That's all right. There's only so many hours in the day, right?
That's
Yeah,
my theory.
exactly. What are you doing to stay busy during this pandemic? Because
Uh,
I know
well,
things are really shut down where you're at in New
they
Mexico.
have been. Two of my friends that are watching, we have a group called Ladies at Lunch, and we every couple of weeks meet in the park and socially distance and catch up. When it's cold, we have sat in the back of our cars in the parking lot and visited.
Oh,
I was
I
a
love that.
competitive swimmer growing up, and so I swim. Our city pool is open for lap swimming only, so I do swim a couple times a week. And I finished 4 or 5 quilts last year that had been UFOs for a long time, and made
Hmm.
5 Christmas quilts. So I've been busy,
You've been doing lots of sewing.
more than usual.
Yeah.
Yes,
Which is always a lot of fun, right?
it is.
Hmm.
It has been a lifesaver these long days sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. And how long have you been with us for 3 at 3?
I found you all accidentally in March, so I think pretty
Right
early on.
after.
Yeah, so
Wow.
pretty early on. Yes,
Wow. That's great. So, speaking of grandkids,
yes,
yeah, and you love making things for them.
I do, and they
So,
appreciate it even nicer.
yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. Tell us about a really fun project that you made for your grandkids that you wanted to share with us today.
Oh, okay. When my two oldest, who are now 12, were 5 or 6, my grandson decided he wanted to use. I make them new sleeping or pillowcases every Christmas, and he wanted to use it as a sleeping bag. And he's 5'5" now at 12, and he was even tall as a 5-year-old.
Uh huh.
And he was so disappointed because he put his feet in the sleeping bag, and he couldn't reach himself all the way in. And so I started working on it, and I've been part of a group that presents a Christmas showcase every year. And I came up with this idea for a toddler sleeping bag that's made from the burrito style pillowcase.
So,
And
same technique. Same technique.
exact same technique. What I did is I added 12 inches to his height, so he was 45 inches at the time. I added 12 inches, so my pillowcase was 57 inches long.
Can you,
And
Debbie? Can you put that
oh,
microphone back up? There we go.
okay, is that
Okay.
better?
Yeah.
Okay. And so the pillowcase is actually was 57 inches long. And what I did is I just played with the proportions, and so that I had the cuff and the accent and the body of the pillowcase like you would on a normal burrito pillowcase.
Mm-hmm.
But I adjusted them to make the uh, it look right as
Mm-hmm.
long as it was. And I found out that the cuff is about a little less than half of the body, and the accent piece was about a third of the cuff. And but you sew it the exact same way. And they used them for a lot. They thought it was loads of fun to just slide into their pillowcase and disappear.
That instead of they had like giant pillowcases.
They had very giant because I'm one of the shorter ones in my family, and I used to be almost 5'10". So
Whoa!
we are a rather tall group.
Yeah, you are. Wow. That's so true. Oh my gosh, but I bet the kids just love those.
Well, they did, and it's just like they love cardboard boxes. They like to take, and I think it's great that they can be creative and do something else with
Mm-hmm.
a normal everyday item. So they loved hiding in those pillowcases. They have grown them, and I don't know what has happened to them, but they loved them for a year or
Oh,
two.
yeah, for a year or two. That's awesome. Did you make them out of just regular cotton or did you try
I
a
did.
different fabric?
I use cotton.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
It might be
the kids are
interesting
in
to
Dallas.
try it as like a minky or something. I wonder how that would go.
I don't know. You've got some long seams, and of course, Minky tends to slip and
Mm-hmm.
slide, but
Mm-hmm.
but you certainly could.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that is such a fun idea. In fact, Debbie was so nice. She wrote up some instructions for us all. And so, right here, you can see that I brought it up on the screen. She just went ahead and just typed up her instructions that so everyone, if you wanted to try a burrito style pillowcase as a sleeping bag, you could give it a try with her idea here. And so, if you've never done a burrito style pillowcase, then we have directions on our website about that, but or you can just find it on YouTube. There's so many different ways of doing the burrito style pillowcase, but
Yeah,
at
there
least
are.
she gives you the dimensions of what how much more she added to the fabric or whatever. So if you would all like the download for this, I just have it. It's a free download on our website. Just go to deal of the day, and you'll be able to find that printable there. So, even if you never know, like if you wanted to do this for gifts, or maybe like not right now, but you think, it'd be nice to have that in my file, right? Because we always are like, oh, what was that idea for doing this or that? Then there you go, right?
And as I said in the directions, it's all approximate. I just laid out those measurements looked right to me. They seem to look like a mimic a pillowcase, but you could
Mm-hmm.
certainly, if you wanted to not do an accent piece, you would just make the cuff larger. You could adjust it for whatever you wanted.
Yeah, definitely. Well, something I always say, in fact, if you were with me at 3 at 3 this, or not 3 at 3, Comet sold this week, we sold some pillowcase kits. And so I say this often, but it's so true. Sometimes we get overwhelmed by going, oh my gosh, I can't quilt something. I'm going to have to get the batting and the backing, and I have to get it quilted, and I just don't have time. It's one of those things that you go, you know what, make them a pillowcase. And they're so fun, and they're fast and easy and affordable, right?
Right? They're a 30-minute project, and I
Mm-hmm.
make my kids get. And of course, as I said, the older ones are getting 12, going on 15, 16, 17, or 18. But they get a new pillowcase every Christmas, and they think it's fun, and
I love
so it's
that.
a tradition.
I love that. That's pretty cool. Well, Debbie, is there anything else you would like to share with us today that has been on your mind?
Nope, but it was fun getting to chat with Kris beforehand, and I feel like I know all of you. I see your names scrolling up, and I think I know them. I know them.
Yeah,
So
I
I think this is
know.
a wonderful idea, and I can't wait to see who you have on next week.
Oh, I know, I know. I love it too. It's really fun for me because Debbie and I have never spoken like this, face to face before. I mean, I see her all the time, in the comments and such. But how fun! I feel like I have a new friend in New Mexico now.
Well, and I have a new friend in Utah. Then
There you
I
go.
talked to my daughter, and we're going to try and once we can all travel, make a girls trip and come visit.
Ooh, I love that. There's nothing I'd love more, Debbie. That would be awesome. So, does anyone else have any questions for Debbie before she heads off? Or, see, I'm not going to let you get away with leaving quite yet, right?
Oh, that's
It's,
okay. This fun.
yeah. Oh, or anything. Okay, so Mary asked, do you think it would work with fleece?
Yes, I think it would work well with fleece. You
Mm-hmm.
might want to do your seam as a zigzag because you know how
Mm.
fleece tends to pull, but
Mm-hmm.
I think it would work really. It'd be really cute with some of the fleeces they have
I think
now.
it would be too. And maybe with fleece, I might go with a little bit bigger seam allowance. I would probably go with a half inch
Half inch, I
seam
would too.
allowance. Mm-hmm. I think, but, and there's a lot of fun fleece prints out there that would be, really cute and comfy.
Well, and for a lot of the Christmas pillowcases, I use flannel, which the kids really like too, and
Mm-hmm.
so I think flannel you could also use if you wanted to.
Oh, definitely, for sure. Tammy said she just ordered the Dragons book. She's so excited.
Oh, good. I'm glad she could find it.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah, so fun. And oh, Kenzie's giving you a bad time. She says, "How did you like that crumb quilt, Debbie?"
Kinsey. I,
Nope.
I'm a little older and a little wiser, and I'll tell you, you just pick your battles,
There
and
you
that's
go.
not mine.
Exactly. And that's okay. I always say that's all
But
right.
Kinsey is welcome to try one. I'm sure that's right up her
Yeah,
alley.
there you go.
She's
Exactly.
right up there with me in the OCD
Yes,
department.
that's right. Exactly. I love it. Donna's asking if we showed a close up of the dragon quilt. I don't know. Is it possible to show a close up of the
Sure.
dragon quilt? Okay,
I'll have
she's
to
going to
drop
go
my
grab it.
earbuds here.
Yep, no problem. Let's see. Mary said she has lots of Boston Bruins fleece. That would be fun. And I know Jennifer Hoffey, I would love, 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 love that. Okay. Oh, there we go. Here's a more up close of this. Let's take a look.
Can you see it?
Yes.
Let
Okay,
me see
so
it.
we've got, let's see. We got a little birthday cake. What I'm dying to know is I'd love to know the story behind each of those blocks in the book, right?
Right, and there
Yeah,
is a story that goes with each one. And
I
it's,
think
as
so
I said,
cute.
this is been drug around for 7 or 8 years, so it's a little well worn.
It's
But
so
wanted I
cute.
he did another drink, so there's a drink down there. I don't know if you can see the drink.
Oh, he wants another drink.
He left
Probably.
his relatives outside. There's a
There's the
flash.
flashlight. Yes.
That's my earbud.
Oh, there we go.
That better.
It is so
I have
cute.
a on him.
You've done a good job making it too, Debbie.
It was my first big applique, so I learned a lot on it.
Yeah, for sure. You learned a. She said it was her first big applique, so she learned a
Right,
lot. Yeah,
I did. And there's the toothbrush and the toothpaste.
so cute. I love it, and I love your cornerstones. They're bright and colorful.
Well, thank you. My
Yeah.
granddaughter likes that material, so I had to stick it in there.
Well, good job. Good job on
Thank you.
that. No, that is so fun. I love it. All right. Kenzie said, "How cute that could even work as an I Spy." Yes, for
Yeah.
sure.
Good.
Nancy, this pattern is not from my girlfriend's quilt shop. It's actually found in a book. Will you grab that book one more time?
I will.
That she did years ago called No Dragons on My Quilt. And if you want to find it, you got to go to Amazon, or there's also a website called Thrift Books, I think. That's what it is. Some of you are saying you got on today and picked it up because it is one that's out of print, so it's a little bit harder to find. Um, Now, don't be alarmed by if you go to Amazon and it's asking for you to pay $94
No,
for a book.
please.
No, please don't. go go to
It's a
the
print book, but
used.
it's not $94 then.
Yeah, go to the used newly. What do they call it? Um, Gently
And
used section or whatever, and you're gonna find them. Robbie says eBay has some. Tammy found hers on eBay. Barbara found hers on eBay. Thrift books.
I
Uh,
think they're around.
Colette
And
found it for $5. So yeah, it's
yeah,
out of print, but you could still, if you do some searching on the internet, you can find them.
I think you could, or you could contact the American Quilters Society because they're the
Or
ones that.
contact the American Quilter Society. Absolutely. Patsy has a good idea. She said you could also, let me pull this over here. You could also make a quilt for a child that spends the night with you. Coloring books would have great simple pictures. Yeah,
Yeah, and that
absolutely.
my
I think,
other hint that we didn't talk about, but yeah, kids coloring sheets or coloring
mm-hmm.
books. Make this is from a coloring book or a Clifford book. There's lots of coloring that you can turn into appliques.
Oh, yeah.
That they're big prints, they're simple lines, and so they work really well as appliques. And then you
Yeah.
can pick things that mean something to that child.
Yeah, definitely. And you can have things that are even more uh, personal to them, right? Just really
Right.
personalize that quilt. But I think that part of the sweetness of that whole thing is that story behind it.
Well, and the kids thought it was fun when they read the book, and they had a quilt like the little boy had the quilt in the story. So when they were little, they thought that was pretty neat.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, Andrea, don't pay $95 for it.
No,
Go find the gently used ones.
those are the
You'll
best
probably
ones
be
right
much
there.
happier.
Yes, and probably a lot cheaper.
Yeah, a lot cheaper. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Debbie, thank you so much for being my guest today. It's been so
I enjoyed it.
fun.
Thanks for inviting me.
Oh, you are welcome. You are an amazing person. You and I have shared a lot of emails over the past year together, and it's just been so fun. And I'm glad that things are going well with your husband's health and with your family. And I'm just it's been an honor to
Oh,
have come to know you.
well, and I count you as one of my friends, which I think is
Thank
pretty
you.
special because we've never met.
Thank you. Same here, my
You're,
friend. Same here. Um, Thank you.
you're
And
welcome.
I will talk to you soon, very soon. All right,
Bye, Ruth.
guys. Bye,
Yeah.
everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please send her your love, everyone. Send Debbie your love. And now you guys know who she is. When you see Debbie Smith on here, you're going to be like, oh, I know her. She's the one that had that cute dragon quilt.
There you go.
There you go. All right, Debbie, we'll talk
Thank
to you
you.
soon. You bet.
Bye
Bye bye.
bye.
All right, guys, wasn't that fun? I don't know. There's nothing better than having new friends from all over the country, and it's just a thrill for me to be able to meet so many of you. And I would love to have you be my guest on another Friday with Friends. So, would you please consider it? Would you please so kindly consider it? It's not too bad. It's not too painful, I don't think, right? So, we're just together like girlfriends and just getting together, or a boyfriend out there. We're all friends, so we would love to hear from you. And if you would be so willing to come on and be a guest with me, then I want you to email me, Kris, Kris, at mygirlfriendsquiltshop.com. Shop is with two P's and an E. And say, hey, you know what? I'm kind of nervous about this, but you know what? Why not? You only live life once. Let's do it. Because I promise you that there are people out there, you might not think you know things. Oh, that's so not true. You do. You absolutely do know things. Every one of you knows something to share, and whether it's something that's brand new or something that has been around for a while, but you bring it back again, uh, different ways of doing things. I want to hear it all. I want to hear it, okay? Because I know I'm always a learner. I will be a lifelong learner forever and ever. And that to me is what life's all about. You keep learning, you keep growing, and we do that when we do it together. Okay, so please send me an email and I'll get you signed up so that we can have you be a guest on a Friday. All right. Linda says she loves to hear other people's stories, and I am right there with you, Linda. I totally agree. I think there is a lot you can learn about a person when you listen to their story, and it truly is an amazing thing that happens when when we can be from different parts of the country or different viewpoints, different whatever. There's something we all can learn about one another. So, all right. So that is that. So thank you again, Debbie Smith, for being my guest.